Oxford is home to many literary figures. Frank Tuttle is no regular Ole Miss employee, but is
Hello.
also a local author and storyteller. Tuttle's most known work are the Marquette series and All Paths of Shadow.
I do write fantasy, not science fiction. A lot of people say fantasy and science fiction, but I've never actually published a science fiction story. I'm strictly fantasy. And I like that because anything is possible.
Tuttle's experience with fantasy storytelling began at a young age.
My father's father, my paternal grandfather, he never wrote anything, but he taught. He would tell stories all the time. We sold tomatoes. We grew tomatoes and sold them under this big old oak tree when I was growing up. And people would come up to buy tomatoes, and Grandpa would be sitting in his chair, and he would just start telling these wild stories.
Although Tuttle has been focused on his own work, he also reaches out to help other young, aspiring authors. Local librarian Nancy Opalco has collaborated with Tuttle to hold teen writing workshops at the public library.
From teenagers and adults, to have somebody come and just have a writing group. And so I immediately thought of Frank because he comes in the library quite frequently, and he's also, he's just a fun guy. So I asked him, and he was all for it, and he led the group for probably about almost 2 years.
However, Tuttle's writing days are far from over. He is currently working on a new series of humorous romantic books.
I've got the first chapter. There's a good market for that kind of thing, and I like the humor.
Tuttle is a passionate author who is dedicated to his fans and mentoring the next generation of authors.